Question. If the Constitution is so perfect, why does it feel like every election we're one bad Facebook post away from a constitutional crisis? We're told rewriting the Constitution would be dangerous, that it would invite a power grab, that only tyrants want change. Funny thing is, the system we're defending already hands massive power to people we don't trust, and then we act shocked when they actually use it. That's not constitutional reverence, that's Stockholm Syndrome with footnotes. Here's the fairy tale. The founders gave us a flawless blueprint. All we have to do is follow it. Reality check. The founders also thought political parties were a bad idea. Senators shouldn't be elected by voters, and slavery was someone else's problem for later. They didn't design a finished system. They designed a prototype with the expectation that we'd keep upgrading it. Instead, we turned it into a museum piece, behind glass, guarded by lawyers, while the wiring sparks and the roof leaks. And now, every time someone says Constitutional Convention, people panic, like we're summoning Beetlejuice, but with militias. Let's talk about the real power grab. Lifetime judicial appointments. That's not judicial independence, that's monarchy cosplay with better robes. Congressional careers that last longer than most marriages. That's not experience, that's institutional hoarding. A system where people are told, you're sovereign, just not competent enough to touch the rules. That's not democracy, that's democracy-themed wallpaper. We've got checks and balances that assume everyone's acting in good faith, in an era where bad faith is a campaign strategy. This isn't stability. This is institutional decay wearing a powdered wig. A modern constitutional convention isn't about grabbing power, it's about giving it back. Term limits so public service isn't a hereditary profession. Judicial reform that ends lifetime appointments without killing independence. Clear ethical standards with real consequences, not pinky swears. Stronger checks and balances designed for a 24/7 media, algorithm-driven political environment. And a nonpartisan process that decentralizes authority instead of concentrating it. That's not radical, that's basic maintenance. You don't call the mechanic because you hate your truck. You call one because you'd like the brakes to work pretty please with sugar on top. So let me flip the fear back onto you. If rewriting the Constitution is a power grab, why are the loudest defenders of the status quo always the people already holding power? Why does trust the process always mean don't touch my chair? The founders' legacy wasn't permanence, it was permission. The real threat to democracy isn't a people-powered constitutional convention, it's pretending an 18th century rule book can survive a 21st century stress test without cracking. Here's the question they don't want you asking. Who exactly are we pretending? The Constitution or the people hiding behind it? Drop your answer in the comments. Share this with someone who still thinks reform equals rebellion. And welcome to the argument that America's been avoiding.